Well, first, there's a lot of things happening in the profession, but the key point here is I'm glad to be in Colorado and have the opportunity to record this. The CPAs of Colorado have a very special place in the hearts of people throughout the country. 3 chairs of the AICPA have come from the great state of Colorado, and all of them very, very influential in the history of the profession. Most recently, Greg Anton on our 125th anniversary of the AICPA and its predecessor organizations. And Marvin Straight in the middle of a major change in the profession called the Plan to Restructure. And Marvin Stone, who unfortunately just recently passed away, really had a significant time of evolution in the profession as well. Unfortunately, those waves of evolution change. They don't actually take as long as they used to because of the world we live in. And I think as far as thinking about the future as a Colorado CPA and the changes that are with us, huge challenges. Relevancy of the CPA profession and what we do. There's challenges from a technology perspective, generational issues, hiring and firing, the whole demographic change of the United States, which our profession must reflect in order to be considered relevant by society as a whole, and it's one that we have as a big emphasis. The services that we do, the technology implications, the decision-making processes in business, international aspects of how we do business and where we go, and how the U.S. sits in the world and how much influence we can exert in the world. That is changing dramatically, and there's going to be some things that we need to continue to focus on in order to maintain that top level of influence globally, which we have had, just as Colorado has had within the United States. And so we have to look at the fact that many of the firms in the top 100 today are much more global. People who work in business and industry, much more global. And we have to balance that issue of taking care of home, the U.S., with making sure that we're doing the right things for the generations to come to position them to really be at the top of the global accounting profession in the long term. And that obviously creates a certain amount of tensions and challenges from that standpoint. And focused on the at home, a lot of changes from a tax perspective. A lot of uncertainty continues to exist from a tax perspective, and maybe the biggest thing, a lot of frustration from a tax perspective that we hear from our members as it relates to the services at the IRS. The IRS would say a lack of funding from Congress. Congress would say a lack of responsiveness from the IRS. Those things will continue to manifest themselves. They're not likely to be finished in the short term because of the tension that exists between the administration and Congress. And so we'll probably have another couple of years of that to deal with as a profession. Maybe the best thing, though, is that we look at the pipeline, the future of our profession, the people who replace the people who are going to retire in our profession. And we continue to have record numbers of people majoring in accounting. That's a great thing. Our profession had full employment during the worst economic times that in any of us in our lifetimes have experienced from a business perspective. That's the positive, but at the same time, the newer generation, the people entering the workforce, are challenging us in small firms, mid firms, in corporate, to look at our business models, at what they do, how they're deployed, how we advance them quickly in the profession, how we get the most out of them with all of their skills. So people, relevance, international, and of course Washington, all form as a foundation of the things that we have to be focused on. At the same time, great opportunity for our profession.